Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle, and this is a bookshelf tour. In this video, I am going to show you guys the books that are on the top 3 shelves here. This is going to be mostly fiction. You're going to see a good chunk of our classics collection, and there's going to be just a little bit of nonfiction in there as well. So I hope you enjoy it. The Crimes of Charlotte Bronte by James Tully. The Secret History of the Mysterious Events at Haworth. The Murder of the Maharaja by H.R.F. Keating. I don't have the dust jacket for that one. Murder in the Cathedral by T.S. Eliot. I don't have the dust jacket for that one either. How to Read and Why by Harold Bloom. 5 Pennies, A Prairie Boy's Story by Irene Morick. Topical Memory System. The 7 Wonders of the Ancient World, edited by Peter Clayton and Martin Price. The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference. 3 Gothic novels, and they are The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole, Vathek by William Beckford, and Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. The Berlitz Self-Teacher, French. Operation Mincemeat by Ben McIntyre. The true spy story that changed the course of World War II. This one was fascinating. It's about an operation, a very secret operation that was used to confuse the enemy of which beach they were going to be landing on for D-Day. It was so good. The Ultimate Jack the Ripper Companion, an illustrated encyclopedia by Stuart P. Evans and Keith Skinner. The Time Traveler's Guide to Restoration Britain by Ian Mortimer. The Time Traveler's Guide to Elizabethan England, Ian Mortimer. And The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England, Ian Mortimer. These time traveler guides are great. Encounters, John David Morley. Marbeck and the Double Dealer by John Pilkington. Ice Trap by Kitty Sewell. Pirates and Outlaws of Canada, 1610 to 1932 by Harold Horwood and Ed Butts. The Legend of the Green Man by Sarah Healy. The Summons, John Grisham. The Godfather by Mario Puzo. We also don't have the dust jacket for that. The Witnesses by M. W. Waring. The Foundation Trilogy by Isaac Asimov. Detection by Gaslight. 14 Victorian detective stories edited by Douglas G. Green. Downton Abbey, Rules for Household Staff. Rumpole for the Defense by John Mortimer. Rumpole on Trial, John Mortimer. Gunga Din and Other Favorite Poems by Rudyard Kipling. The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. Christ and the Fine Arts. We also don't have the dust jacket for this. This is the revised and enlarged edition, an anthology of pictures, poetry, music, and stories centering in the life of Christ by Cynthia Pearl Mouse. Lady of the Backwoods by Sarah Eaton. Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam of Nashpur. Letters of C.S. Lewis, edited with a memoir by W.H. Lewis. Rumpole and the Penge Bungalow Murders by John Mortimer. The Golden Bowl by Henry James. We're starting to get into some of our classics collection here. C.S. Forester, Payment Deferred. This is one of the Franklin Mystery editions, Franklin Library Mystery editions. These are gorgeous editions. The edgings are gold edgings there. Franklin Library of Mystery Masterpieces. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. The Private Memoirs and Confessions of a Justified Sinner by James Hogg. Classic Victorian and Edwardian Ghost Stories selected by Rex Collings. The Professor by Charlotte Bronte. Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. The Warden by Anthony Trollope. The Works of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, with an introduction and biography by Henry W. Longfellow. Wait, no. Sorry, that's just his that's just his signature on the bottom. The Eustace Diamonds by Anthony Trollope. The Last Chronicle of Barset by Anthony Trollope. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. There is also another book in here. Hang on. Look at that illustration. Isn't that great? So this contains Dr. Thorne and the Warden. Headlong Hall and Nightmare Abbey by Thomas Love Peacock. The 39 Steps by John Buchan, or Buchan. I'm never sure how to say his name. The Diary of a Nobody by George and Whedon Grossmith. Waiting for Godot, a tragicomedy in 2 acts by Samuel Beckett. Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert. Trilby by George du Maurier. The Vicar of Wakefield by Oliver Goldsmith. Home from the Vinyl Cafe, A Year of Stories by Stuart McLean. Stories from the Vinyl Cafe by Stuart McLean. And The Last Ship by William Brinkley. Courtiers, The Secret History of the Georgian Court by Lucy Worsley. Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. The Wicked Boy, An Infamous Murder in Victorian London by Kate Summerscale. A History of the World for High School, it's a Botsford. Macmillan's Canadian School Series, authorized by the Minister of Education. The Poison Garden, Karen Harper. The Queen's Christmas, Karen Harper. The Thorn Maze. These are, the next few are going to be Karen Harper's. The Queen's Cure. The Twilight Tower. And The Tidal Pool. All right, then we've got some Sherlock Holmes coming up. So these are going to be all Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is The Valley of Fear. The Mysterious Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Sherlock Holmes Mysteries, 22 Stories. Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. The Case Book of Sherlock Holmes. A Study in Scarlet. The Sign of Four. His Last Bow. And this is Les Miserables Volume 2 by Victor Hugo. Volume 1 is by my bed. I had started to read it a while ago, and I really need to get on it and read this whole thing. A Pair of Blue Eyes, Thomas Hardy. Dr. Faustus by Marlowe, Kit Marlowe, edited by Paul H. Kocher. Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. Oh, and then out of order, this is another Arthur Conan Doyle, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Silas Marner by George Eliot. The Life of Charlotte Bronte by Elizabeth Gaskell. Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. And Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. Paris Requiem by Lisa Apakanisi. That is a really hard name to say. I'm sure I'm not going to say it right. Franklin, Tragic Hero of Polar Navigation by Andrew Lambert. Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. The Forsyte Saga by John Galsworthy. Adam Bede by George Eliot. The Mill on the Floss, George Eliot. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and the Merry Men and Other Tales and Fables by R.L. Stevenson. The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Hobbit by Tolkien. The Lord of the Rings Part 3, The Return of the King. The Lord of the Rings Part 2, The Two Towers. and The Lord of the Rings Part 1, The Fellowship of the Ring. Don Quixote by Cervantes. Lorna Doone by R.D. Blackmore. The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy. Anna Karenina, Leo Tolstoy. Vanity Fair by William Thackeray. The King's Exile by Andrew Swanston. The King's Return, same author. And The King's Spy, same author. The next three are by Shirley MacLaine, Fate and Fortune. These are Hugh Cullen mysteries. Hue and Cry. And Time and Tide. I really love the covers on these. They're fantastic. The Ambassadors, Henry James. Washington Square, Henry James. Don't Tell Alfred, Nancy Mitford. Pudding and Pie, Nancy Mitford, including Highland Fling, Christmas Pudding, Pigeon Pie. And Love in a Cold Climate and Other Novels by Nancy Mitford. These include The Pursuit of Love, Love in a Cold Climate, and The Blessing. The Kenya Settlers Cookery Book and Household Guide. This is put together by St. Andrew's Church Women's Guild. Preface was written in 1958. And the other reason why I love this book is because it's got these great ads from the 50s. The Bully of Order by Brian Hart. And then we've got some E.M. Forster's here. So this is A Passage to India. The Longest Journey. I really like these editions. A Room with a View. Where Angels Fear to Tread. And this is Bernard Shaw, Pygmalion. And then we have our Robertson Davies collection. This is one of Aaron's favorite authors. He's a Canadian author. This is The Manticore. World of Wonders. The Cunning Man. Murther and Walking Spirits. Leaven of Malice. What's Bred in the Bone. The Rebel Angels. The Papers of Samuel Marchbanks. For Your Eyes Alone, Letters 1976 to 1995, selected and edited by Judith Skelton Grant. And The Lyre of Orpheus. The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. The Fourth Estate, Jeffrey Archer. The Fourth K, Mario Puzo. Hornet Flight, Ken Follett. Richter 10, Arthur C. Clarke and Mike McKay. Days of Drums, Philip Shelby. A Treasury of Stephen Leacock. Literary Lapses, Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town, Winnowed Wisdom. 3 complete and unabridged Canadian classics. Ben-Hur by Lou Wallace. This is a Focus on the Family's Classic Collection edition, which we wouldn't keep except that it's the only copy of Ben-Hur that we have. So if we ever find another copy, then we can give this one away. The Street by Lee Grunfeld. A Great Deliverance by Elizabeth George. The Partner, John Grisham. Paul by Walter Wangerin. Disclosure, Michael Crichton. The Abominable by Dan Simmons. Ship of Gold in the Deep Blue Sea by Gary Kinder. The Policy, Patrick Lynch. The Brethren, John Grisham. Shadow of the Titan, Alan Fenton. King Arthur's Knights by Henry Gilbert, illustrated by Walter Crane. Zero Coupon, Paul Erdman. Free to Trade, Michael Ridpath. All right, so there you have it. Those are the books from our top 3 shelves on our bookshelves. What do you think? Have you read any of those books? I would love to chat with you about them in the comment section down below. Also, let's have a chat about editions, because there's often so many different editions of especially classics. So do you have a preferred edition? Let's say for classics, like we have quite a lot of the Wordsworth classic editions, and that's just because those are really easy to get a hold of. But there are certain editions that I do seem to prefer than others. But I'll be honest, I'm happy with whatever I can find. So do you have a preferred edition for books? I would love to know about that. So let's chat in the comment section down below, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye.